talk about Mexican Independence Day, we could call it Teddy Atlas here in Las Vegas, Nevada. You heard from the champion himself, knocking out the competition. Good evening, everyone. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. And I like our guest today, Richard TORREZ Jr. We're simply knocking out the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show. Richard, it's good to have you back as our guest on The Fighter's Voice.
Man, it's great to be back.
Rich, I want to jump right into it, man. I don't even know if I can say this guy's last name, but you're going to be taking on 6'6" monster Guido Vionello. Vionello. I want to say his name right. Vionello. And that's going to take place Saturday, April 5th, Las Vegas, Nevada. Tell us about what you're going to do mentally to transition yourself for taking on a much taller opponent. And how did you feel once you got the news?
Yeah, I think I've been kind of used to fighting a lot of taller guys, especially in the Olympics, and in the amateur scene. When you get some of these top of the nation guys, you get the guys that are like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and I think I'm used to that. I'm used to being a shorter guy and working my way in. And I think the biggest thing that I have that works for me is my conditioning, and it's something that I could talk about all the time. It's like something that's in my game plan, but I want everyone to know about it. I'm a firm believer that I'm gonna take you to hell and back in that fight, and that's what I'm looking forward to do. The way the fight came about, my dad usually just goes, "Hey, we're fighting this guy," or "Hey, we're gonna do this." He said he got a call. He said, "Hey, Keeks, you want to fight Guido?" I said, "Yes, let's do it." I never done a fight, and I'm just so excited to be able to main event in Vegas. It's something I feel like I almost dreamed about with you back when I was like 17. And we would talk about it. One day when you're in main event, we got to come out here, and so I got you tickets definitely. Whenever you want it for you to come out, because we've started this from the beginning too, and I'm just super excited to be able to show fans what the Valley, Tulare, California, and the USA have to offer.
Exactly. And it'll be our pleasure to go down there and support you. Absolutely. Look forward to it as well. I don't know who's more excited, me, you, your dad, or I'm excited about watching you on that big stage, that platform, because I truly believe, you put a small fish in a small aquarium, he's not going to grow too much. But once you put him in that big aquarium, that small goldfish turns into a shark. And you're going to get to show the whole world exactly what you've been working for. And everybody knows it's no secret. Your stamina is no secret. And you know what the thing about it is, Rich? There's nothing they can do about it.
Exactly. And that's what I love. Definitely. And I think you're right. I think in a couple of past fights, it's been hard to really showcase like the full training camp and what we've been doing, just because they're sometimes they give, and I'm really looking forward to this fight because I know like Guido's a durable opponent. He's a puncher. He's like, he has a majority of his fights are knockouts as well. He's an Olympian, and this is really going to a great test for both of us. And may the best man win.
Well, I know he has that sneaky right hand, and you're going to see that coming a mile away because he kind of hooks it a little bit, kind of turns it a little bit. But what's been most impressive about you, everybody knows that you're a puncher. Everybody knows that you can take care of business once you make contact. But lately, you've been showing your other attributes, such as your boxing ability, your defensive skills, your footwork, your step over, and that's only a few of the tools that you have in your arsenal. Come April 5th, you're going to show the entire world who's the next heavyweight to be aware of, and not to overlook somebody coming from Tulare, not to overlook somebody of your stature, meaning that you're so young and getting ready to make that big step.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's just it's a blessing, So I am thankful for Top Rank for giving me this opportunity, and I'm thankful to be able to, for the matchmakers as well, for allowing me to take on this opposition. man, it's just it's a little surreal. It's the 13th fight. We're going in for a main event, and and I feel like I want to prove to myself that I'm worth it as well. I have some of my fellow teammates that got a couple main events. They got Keyshawn Davis, shout out to him, he just won a world title. I got Darius Fulgham that's had a title shot. David Nakia that was on the New Zealand team, he got a world title shot. A lot of these guys are doing main events, and I think the 2020 class we're moving pretty fast. Like relatively to some of the other guys, and I'm excited for it. I'm gearing up, and it's just nice to see that the plans come into fruition.
You know what? You mentioned Top Rank Boxing. They believe in you, so I give a shout out to Top Rank Boxing. Brad Goodman and the rest of the Top Rank family. They believe in you, and they know it's just a matter of time that opportunity is given to you. They know exactly what you're in store for and what you're going to produce that night. I'm sure you and your dad are going to go over different game plans. I mean, how excited are you both to know that, hey, this is what we've been dreaming about? This is one step closer to our goal.
It's a weird thing because we didn't really focus too much on the pro side of things. It was always Olympics, 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 and it almost felt like any of the pros is kind of house money. Of like, all right, we're just gonna see where it takes us. But
Yeah.
with that being said, we're competitive and we're determined. And I'm my dad was ecstatic. My dad couldn't wait to take that fight, and feeling was mutual with me. Um, and I think the biggest thing is we both want to show everybody that like we're meant to be here. You get a lot of naysayers, and
Yeah.
it's hard not to read comments. It's hard not to kind of fall into that pit of things sometimes. And I just sometimes it's tricky because I feel the naysayers say some of the things are the doubts in my mind as well. Like sometimes they'll talk about like size or talk about this or that, and like you never want to say like, oh well, like yeah, that guy's 6'6", but I'm sometimes you feel like, all right, maybe there's something there, but then I want to prove that I'm meant to be here. I want to prove that when I got the silver medal that meant something. I want to prove that being number one in the USA for the past 10 years in the amateurs meant something. I want to prove that being 12-0 with 11 knockouts in this heavyweight, it means something, and it's not just a show. I'm not a hype chain, and this is the perfect opportunity to do that.
Indeed, it is. This is a big platform. I know you're going to be sitting down with Mark Kriegel, and I'm sure he's going to sit down with you, and you guys are going
Yep.
to talk about exactly what we're talking about today. Doing with this opportunity. What does this opportunity mean to you? Shout out to Mark Kriegel from ESPN. But today, right now, you're on the fighter's voice, the only voice that matters, Rich. And we believe in you from the gate. You continue to be faithful with us and be the same person. And come April 5th, you're going to be that same person who brings home that victory. That's how much belief we have in you. Um, I've lost some fighters that I used to root for from the valley all over the world because when it comes down to it, I have to make that decision. Am I pulling for you because I had lunch with you, or am I pulling for you because I truly believe you can do it? And there's a lot of times in being media rich, you got to call it like you see it. And right now with Team TORREZ, I call it like
Yeah,
I see it.
I appreciate that, and you really do. And I'm thankful for that, and I know that at the end of the day, it's all business, everything like that. But I do count you as one of the guys I did start out with as well. I was 17 when we first did like our first podcast. I was going to Russia for the first time, and
Yeah.
and I thought it was so cool that I got to be on the radio, man. And now there's nothing better than to have the first interview with the fighter's voice.
And it's always my pleasure. And there's going to be more, coming ahead. And I'm going to make sure I do show up to that fight. And, after you get that big main interview on national TV, I'm going to make sure I took out your coat a little bit. And I'm going to get that post fight interview with both you and your father, because a lot of people sometimes overlook the trainer. They sometimes overlook the upbringing. And one thing that I don't overlook is exactly where you stood from. And I see those steps. I've read those steps. I've seen it in your eyes and also in your father when we talk about your grandfather and your dad as a trainer. And I remember during the Olympics, Showtime Sean Porter gave mad props, showed mad love to your dad as being a trainer.
Yeah, no, and it's a. I like to say that my dad stood on the shoulders of my grandpa, and I'm standing on the shoulders of my dad. And from this high up, I have a pretty nice view. It's been a family thing.
There you go.
My mom's my nutritionist. My sister is my stylist. My dad's my coach. And it's amazing to have my intermediate family as my team as well. You know, I eat, sleep, and breathe boxing, and it's just nice to know that my family's with me every step of the way as well.
Well, yeah, and you know what? You're gonna get somebody upset because you didn't mention Dempsey. Now that's your road dog, actually, right there. You gotta let everybody know what
I
time is
know.
it with him.
uh,
You know, hey, he's gonna have some
yeah,
words with you
he's my
after the
training
show.
partner. Yep. I know. I'm gonna have to give him a treat. Dempsey's the man. You know what I mean? He just ran 5 miles with me today. I got off the plane and put my running shoes on and got going again. And I'm just everyone's working with me, and it's really helping a lot. And I'm really glad I have the team that I have because I have full trust in them, and I feel like it's hard to get that nowadays. You know, like people having full trust and loyalty, and I know for a fact that the team, my family, and the people right outside my family, they believe in me and they trust in me, and I trust in them.
Well, Rich, you got to know this. A lot of fights that are announced, they're announced by a publicist, they're announced by a manager, uh, by a promoter. But you got to sit down and go live with one of the best out there, Christina Potcher, and talk about your fight and announce your fight. How did that make you feel? And how does it feel to be in the broadcasting booth?
Man, you know, I feel like this at a young age and kind of doing it as we went to the Olympics has helped a lot. You know, being able to talk to you in like the radio booth, being able to like slowly do different things. It's made me a little more comfortable with talking with the camera. Um, but being able to announce the fight in New York at Madison Square Garden, it was really cool. You know, it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing to and to know that when I was in New York, people were taking pictures of me. You know, like on the other side of the country, people knew who I was. Boxing fans knew that like the small farmed kid from Tulare, California, is having a main event. And they're excited about it. Can't beat
Yeah.
that. You know, it's like it's really cool to know that your hard work is being seen. You know, because all the hard work that you do in the ring, there's 10 times the more hard work you do when no one's watching in practice. You know, and I'm glad that some people are taking notice because man, it is hard work.
No, yeah, yes, it is hard work, and nothing's come to you easy. But I know you you like to also enjoy yourself too. I know you like to also attach it to some of your personality. I look at your Instagram and I see your short takes and your short videos, and I'm glad you give the viewers, the fans, and the followers a different side of you. But see, they can't really nail you down because you're everywhere on those videos. One day you're chasing after a sparring partner in full gear. The next day you're upset because they cut out sparring. And then you're growing the mustache, you're shaving the mustache. Should I cut my hair or should I let it grow? And I mean, you're everywhere. That's your personality. So I think when it's all said and done, Rich, I mean, you, your anthem is going to live forever. It's going to be like one of those songs that just doesn't go away.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just like I want to show people who I actually am. You know, a lot. I feel like a lot of social media is promotion nowadays, and fighters don't really take that too seriously, and they need to.
I
I
agree.
had two guys, Julius Balos and Johnny Mansour. They told me one time, Rich, you just got to post every day. It doesn't matter what you post, just post something. And I took their advice, and slowly but surely that kind of page grew and grew. And I learned that people just like kind of the average day of what I do. You know, people like that I go out and shoot off rockets, or I learned to crochet for a week, or I'll solve Rubik's cubes. You know, and I just think it's interesting that the things that I got made fun of for in high school are the things that everyone loves nowadays. You know.
Well, let's not overlook your footwork. You went from ballet to tap to reggae to you name it, man. I mean, you're out there moving, you're out there grooving and punching at the same time. But there's something that caught my eye as soon as we took the air, and I started to think about that. And I'm glad you're not that guy. A lot of people have asked for different shirts. Other fighters, I have blessed them with some shirts, and then I never seen them worn on them ever before. So, and I will poke fun at this guy right now, who we're going to talk about in a little while. But you got the Fighter's Voice T-shirt on, Rich, and you're rocking it, and it
Gotta
just
rock it.
fits you great. And also, your father rocks the T-shirt too.
Uh-huh.
And I know you always on the weigh-ins, you give tribute to your grandpa with polo gear. You got the bear there. One day you're going to be in the crowd. One day you're going to be when it counts. You're probably going to have a nice jacket on, but you're going to be rocking that Fighter's Voice T-shirt one day. I know you are because I
I'm gonna
can
have
feel it. You're that type of person, my man.
to. Nah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, gotta love the shirt, you know? And sometimes, like, sometimes I'll work out in it, and then, like, I'll be like, oh, I gotta take a picture when I'm working out in it. But then, like, yeah, you're right. One of these days I'll have to do it after the fight too, man. Because, like, I don't know, I love this shirt, man. It fits nice, you know?
I'm glad you do. Now, I wish I could. I'm gonna put this guy on blast, but they're going to give him a congratulations. I wish I could say the same thing about Arnold Barboza. He has a hoodie and a T-shirt, Rich, and he hasn't even wore it yet. I mean, we got Regis Prograis wearing it. We got, shoot, Efromowitz, Vice President of Combate MMA. Regis Prograis wear, like I said, I give one to Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder, Jamal Herring would wear it. You name it, the who's who have put on the Fighter's Voice T-shirt. And if I miss somebody, I'll check myself later. But I'm giving Arnold a hard time. But I want to congratulate
There we
Arnold
go.
Barboza Jr., of boxing. I don't want to say exhibition because it was a great fight, but his discipline and how he stood on his father's game plan. That's 2 fights back to back, beating Jose Ramirez on a beautiful game plan. Now beating Jack Catterall in the UK with a beautiful game plan. And Rich, it always feels good when the judges get it right, and they got it right.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Team Arnold Barboza, who gets that mandatory shot and is now the new WBO lightweight champion, but getting the mandatory against Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, congrats, man. And next time you gotta wear that shirt, or else we're coming for you, bro. Pause, but
Yeah, let him know that. Let him know that we are. I actually got to give his pops when I see him, and I'm going to see him March 15th in Long Beach, I believe it is. Marv Nation's promotions. They're going to have a nice event. Once again, you're going to have Daniel Rodriguez. Nathan Rodriguez on the card, and also Emiliano Vargas on the card. It's going to be an action-packed event. And yeah, I'm going to have to give it to him when I see him there. And, when you got to broadcast in that booth, Marv Nation, he gives me the opportunity to broadcast his shows and, yeah, give me a shot at the title, so to speak.
there we go. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing when I'm doing that. If I'm being honest with you, like I'll try
You're
my
doing a good
best.
job.
I feel like I'm just oohing and awing. You know, when I'm on the broadcast, I'm like, oh, like I'm on Sky Sports, and I'm not the best at it. You know, I've been told that I need to talk a little bit more. I feel like I have a very monotone voice, and especially when I'm fighting, you know, I try to like take out emotions, and I
Yeah,
don't have that climax of like a knockdown. I'm like, oh, he did what he needed to do, and I gotta get some pointers from you after this, man.
absolutely, man. I'll send you a video. I had a chance to thank you. DAZN had a chance to come on DAZN with Abner Mares, who's one of the greats as
Oh, cool.
commentating, and Marv Nation Promotions gave me that opportunity doing a Fernando Vargas Jr. Main event card. I've been battling with
Wow.
my throat right now in my voice, but there was no way I was going to turn down this interview with the undefeated Top Rank's own Richard Torres Jr.
I appreciate that, and we'll keep it going anytime. Anytime you want an interview, I'm good. But I asked for this interview. I gotta tell everybody, it wasn't you asking me. I was like, man, I got my first main event. The first interview I want is with the fighter's voice. I have to, you know.
I appreciate that, man. It made me feel good deep down inside, and I was proud of you. I'm proud of you and all the moves that you make when you're in that broadcasting booth. I'm watching. Even when a lot of times when it's not nationally televised, it's there. But this one is nationally televised, and I treat it as such. I just don't call you or tell you all the time, Rich, because I'll be bothering you. But I'm saying, hey, make sure you tune in. Hey, check out Rich Torres Jr. I tell all the kids at school because I keep telling them, hey, he's going to come down and talk one day. But you
Hmm.
always got these big fights. So when I have to catch you between fights, stop by Madera, California. Shout out to Mount Vista Continuation High School, and these kids will love to hear from you. Hear some motivation, and hear your dream, and you got to excel their dreams to come true as well.
Definitely, I'm more than willing and able to come. So as soon as like I have some a little bit of time, this camp is going pretty hard right now. But yeah, after the fight, I'm more than willing to come through.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know you're going to be busy. So I know you probably will not be able to make this, but I don't want to say no. In Madera, California, shout out to a Gonzalez boxing team. They're going to have an event. It's called the Madtown Throwdown 4. It'll be March 1st on Saturday and March 2nd on a Sunday. You got some young amateurs competing. So if in fact you're not able to make it, we got to set up some kind of video. They'll put it on their big screen, and you can give a shout out to Gonzalez boxing team and all these young amateurs. They love to hear from Tulsa's own future heavyweight champion of the world.
And I'm more than willing and able. And now I got a little. I'm trying to take after you a little bit. I got the mic stand and some headphones, so like I got some better audio than I did last time. So yeah, maybe a video would work. I do leave the Olympic Training Center again to finish up a camp soon, but until then, yeah, I'm more than willing for a video.
I was going to compliment on you that with you, Rich. It looks good. It sounds good, and as they say, you look good, you feel good, you play good, you compete good, and you live good.
Yeah. I am gonna ask you afterwards how I get this little box thing out of my camera, but like that's a different question for a different podcast. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, and we'll have our producer KP. He'll take care of you. He'll give you a call, and
Appreciate
he'll
that.
know exactly. This guy is like a wizard. You could just tell him, "Okay, this is what's going on." He goes, "Okay, you need to do this," and he'll talk you through it. If you miss a wire, he'll say, "I'll be right back," and he'll like climb the tree and just like create something, and he'll get the job done.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I got the DIY, the do it yourself version of the podcast app. I'm
Oh,
not I'm
there you
not
go.
like you just yet.
No, man. Hey, iron sharpens iron, bro, and we're rubbing off on each other. How does that sound?
Well, it sounds like if we got in the right context sounds great. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to tell you about this big event coming March 8th. Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing, Porterville, California, uh, Eagle Mount Casino. A friend of mine had this idea. He put it in fruition, I would say. It's now existing. It's going to take place, and that's Big LeVar Johnson, UFC veteran. Him and a couple of his buddies and his partners, they put it together, and it's going to take place March 8th, Eagle Mountain Casino, Porterville, California. Big Dog Bare Knuckle Boxing. It's coming back to California, man. If you're
That's pretty
free,
good.
there's some tickets for you and your dad there. And
Okay,
you
okay.
never know, man. You can pick up some sparring partners there.
Right,
LeVar will give you
right.
some rounds. Big LeVar
There
Johnson.
you go. Yeah, that bare knuckle boxing is no joke, man. That's like,
Oh,
ooh, that's a bloody sport. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know what's bleeding more, the face or the hands. So I give them credit, man, because they get in there and they throw.
they throw us, and you got to remember, LeVar is the current heavyweight champion of the world in bare knuckle boxing, and to
Wow.
bring that bout back to our area, the 559, Madera, California, we're only hop, skipping, and jump away from Tulare, so we're all
Yep.
neighbors, man. When one person wins, we all win.
1,000%. Yeah, we got to represent the Central Valley. Shout out to him, man. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to that event. I might be in Colorado during that time, but if not, I know it'll be good. Those fights they're hectic every single time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'll be given the opportunity to commentate with Rudy Cruz Jr., who's the
Cool.
boxing coach to Daniel Cormier, uh, who else? Cain Velasquez, and
Oh
gosh,
wow.
his the guy who beat Conor McGregor, Habib, and yeah.
Really?
So Rudy Cruz has been around.
That's really cool.
So he's a
Heck yeah,
veteran of
heck
the
yeah.
sport.
So you're
So
doing
big
the color
shout out.
commentating. He's doing the analyst or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna work together, and then I'll do the post fight interviews inside of the ring or the cage, whatever they're gonna have
Awesome,
set up.
awesome.
And I love to do
Uh-huh.
that. And that's I feel comfortable doing it. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I mean, I would love to have you there. Put the headset on you and have you put you in the booth for a little while. So just letting you know,
Oh
we
man.
thinking of you, man.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah. So if I'm not in Colorado, I'll be there. But I might be in Colorado. So
Rich, I know you got a tight schedule. I mean, when I reached out to your dad about talking to, trying to get a message to you, he said, "Rich, he's everywhere." He said, "But make sure you stay on him." He said, "Because we're
yeah,
we're men of our word, and he doesn't like to
definitely.
cancel, and he doesn't like to do this. He had nothing but good things to say." He's telling me basically, Richard, that things I already know. I already know your upbringing since the minute you walked inside of that studio in Fresno, California, and as they say, the rest is history. Every time I see you in Vegas, I always let you get your flowers from the other fans, but I'm saying, man, hey, I got to come back and show some love too.
Nah, yeah, I know. You're always the guy that really helps out too. Like I don't know. It's been cool, you know. I just like going through the years and like every now and then we'll have another interview, and I feel like just like the plan has been like things have been going to plan, you know, and I like that a lot. You know, I think a lot of my life I've tried to plan out or at least set goals and try to make those marks, and it's really nice knowing that like 5 years ago I said, hey, I want a main event one of these days, or 5 years ago, like 10 years ago I was like, hey, I want to go to the Olympics one day, to you like in your booth or when we're doing our interviews, and it's nice like talking to you again when it's like, hey, we did that and now we're looking forward to more goals, you know. And I appreciate you, man. So thank you for having me on again.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure, man. Hey, I'm always here for you. The mic is always yours, and now you got your own mic, but we're gonna make sure it's set
There you
up
go, man.
the way you want it, and you can do your things. And I watched your interview. I watched the interview, a portion of the show you had on, and I'm digging it, man. I mean, you're
I
real
appreciate that.
comfortable, and that's how it's gonna happen, Rich. It's just like two guys talking in the garage, or two guys sitting on the couch watching a boxing match and commentating on it.
Hmm. Yeah, I got to work on my commentating skills though, but yeah, I think it's getting a little bit easier, you know. And I think it's like things like this where I'm well, not this is a formal interview, and it's different. But like when I'm sitting down with the guys and it's like the podcast setup where it's like it's just me and the camera and like the rinky dinky right on the side of the ring. It's easier for me to get used to the camera, I think, like that. And I think it helps out some of the other guys too. Like what you did for me, and like you put the camera in my face, you asked me some of these questions, and I got really like nervous when I was first doing it. I could see that happening in some of these younger guys that I'm interviewing, like at the Olympic Training Center, like the guys that just won their first nationals and that might be their first interview. And it's I think it really helps in the future. And I'm thankful you did for me, and so hopefully that they'll learn from that as well.
Well, I'm grateful, man, that I was here to help you grow, and I've always wanted to help you grow. Wanted nothing but the best from you. Again, I know good people when I see them. You didn't even say a word the minute I saw you in your family and the things that you've did on last minute calls. Hey, can you come here for this event? Your dad had been more than willing, as well as yourself, and it's starting to pay off. You do good things and you work hard. You're going to see the fruits. You're going to see the blessings, and they're coming your way. It's when they come your way, Richard. It's one. What do you do with it? And how to react. How do you react after it's all said and done?
Mm.
I mean, do you still react the same way? I mean, are you still down to earth? And right now, you're the same person that walked through that studio in Fresno, California when you were 17. Just a little sharper now, a little bigger, a little stronger, and and more W's in the professional record. You weren't even a professional then. I remember the goal was try to get to the Olympics. And when your dad texts me and says, okay, but don't say nothing, but I'm not sure yet. And I go, okay, well, don't say nothing. I'm not sure yet. And I kept calling him. And, your dad's a principal at the high school.
Hmm.
And I'm sure he was getting those calls because I wanted to know. I
Uh-huh.
wanted to know just like he wanted to know.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was COVID, and so when we get the call, they were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, 90% sure you're going to the Olympics, but we don't know yet, so don't announce anything." I was like, "What do you mean 90% sure?" They're like, "Well, like you should be going, but we don't know." And I'm like, And it wasn't until like 40 days out when they're like, all right, no, you're definitely going. We booked your plane ticket. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But that whole journey was a journey to say the least.
Well, the journey's still going, the train is still going, and you know, Guido's going to have his hands full April 5th. And I know you can prepare for every angle that he brings. Even though the southpaw tries to get in the right hand stance with you, or whatever he's going to try to do, whatever adjustment he's has in his arsenal, it's all going to be nipped by the bud, because once they get hit, and feel the power of Team TORREZ, their game plan is going to change, and it should. If they're a smart fighter, it should, because if they try to swap with you, I mean, you're looking for easy. I don't want to say easy, but you're looking for an early night. That's something that he shouldn't try with you. But at the same time, I don't want to see. I'm happy if you get that first round or third round knockout, but I'd like to see the growth. I like to see the angles. I like to see
Right.
the head movement. But like your dad said, you don't get paid to work overtime.
There we go. There we go. Can't play with the food. But yeah, I do like showing the skills. I do like showing I like showing what I learned in the training camp. Sometimes it is discouraging getting knockout super early, because you're like, man, I worked like 6 to 8 weeks for this and it was 30 seconds, and I wanted to just show off just a little bit. Or sometimes if you get like that stoppage and you feel like,
Yeah,
like I wanted to get like 2 or 3 more punches off, just give me 3 more shots, and then it would have been better.
that's that
But yeah,
animal in you.
I'm thankful for how the fights have gone. Yeah, I don't want to stop, man. I need someone to pull me off them. But yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunities I've been given so far, and I'm thankful for this opportunity I have on April 5th. And I won't let the people down. I'm going out there training as hard as I can, and come fight night, you're gonna see Richard Torres.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you one of my favorite moves that I've seen you use as of late is that step move, that Tyson step move. Oh man, that just comes so smooth to you, man.
Uh
You're able to get that
huh.
angle on them. They don't see those 1-2s coming, because you don't just step out of their way. You step and you strike.
hmm Trying to, yeah, you get that Tyson one, and then I think Lomachenko kind of perfects it a little bit too. Just
Oh
being
yeah,
able to touch, and then Tyson will will just slam him down. I think it's just amazing to see like the different types of the facets of boxing, and like really go into the sweet science of it. Everyone sometimes, I mean, the basics is, yeah, like punch and don't get hit, but sometimes boxing is beautiful, and I want to get to that point. Yeah, I see like guys like Bam Rodriguez. I went to the junior world championships with him in Russia, and I see him what he's doing in like the pros now too, and like it's beautiful to watch. And
yes.
I want to replicate that a little bit. I want people to look at my style and be like, wow, that looks pretty.
Oh, I remember Timothy Bradley. He was commentating. He was all over that. He loved. He was very impressed. And Timmy doesn't just give out compliments, as you know.
Not very true. Yeah, very true. Yeah, so I
So, but I
appreciate
want to talk about.
Mr. Tim Bradley. He bought one of my shirts, man. Yeah.
I was about to say that. Let's talk about that. How did that whole
Uh,
discussion go? And he was the man of his word. He rocked it on the show.
Yeah, yeah. He said, well, he had gotten the shirt, right? And then he said that I'm only gonna wear it if you win, right? I said, okay, cool, but it's because he said that he doesn't like crop tops, and that was a crop top shirt. And I
Oh
said, I'm
yeah,
gonna make a crop top just for you, Tim Bradley. I'm gonna make one that looks like a normal shirt, but a little bit less. And he was a man of his word, man. I won that fight. Gets an undefeated fighter, and he rocked it in the post conference, man. So I appreciate that.
there you go. There you go. Also, I'm gonna pick a little bit at Mark Kriegel, because he has a Fighter's Voice T-shirt, and I'm waiting for him to rock it too. So I'm gonna push up on him
That's what I'm
a little
saying.
bit since we got him on the show.
I'm a if he comes out and does an interview, I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna tell him he has to put the shirt on to do it.
There you go. There you go. That sounds good. Mark's a good dude, man. He gave me some advice one
Uh
time, and you know what? It stuck with me. So the advice he gives to me, I'm going to give to you. Now, when you have your friends on the show and you do a show, and there's a link sometimes, you're going to use a show as your phone. He called me up on a Sunday, and he said, Richard, no more effing car interviews. If they don't have the freaking time to get out of their car and sit down with you, or even park the car, F them. That's what he told me straight up. That's coming from the GOAT. I mean, Mark Kriegel is one of the best in the world, if not the best, as breaking down a fight and interviewing people and his story and just his talents altogether.
No, definitely. So have you had a car interview since then?
No, I had somebody pull over and say, "Hey, man,
There we go.
can you pull over?" Without going off on them. Or when they
uh,
tried to, I
uh,
said, "Hey, it's just going to go in and out." So I had them pull over.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Taking the advice and keeping
yeah.
it.
I mean,
Yeah, and I feel like that's the same thing with me. Like sometimes I've had some of these interviews and I'll be outside or I'll be right next to like the car or
yeah,
something like that. And I'm like, it's not the same. And I found out recently how important audio is. And that was one
oh
of the
yeah.
reasons I made the investment of the mics. And hopefully it's paying off a little bit.
Well, not only that, the headphones too, as they work as a monitor, so you know your range of your voice, and
Right.
you take it from there, and you'll know what your voice brings, and you know what you can do, and you hear yourself. So, like earlier, we had. I mean, let's keep it real. This is the way it's done. Sometimes we heard a plane going over in the beginning of our segment here.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one, but yeah, I mean, you guys got the better mics, I guess.
No, you got something. It's not the mic; it's the person behind the mic, Rich, and you're doing a great
I
job,
appreciate
Richard.
it.
So, yeah. So just keep doing what you're doing, man. I can't wait till the next video comes out. I can't wait till leading up to this fight, to Mark Kriegel sitting down with you, and you telling the whole world what you're all about and what you plan to do once that first bell rings. I know your dad's excited. Your mom and dad are excited. Your family. I know your fan base you have in Tulare, but your fan base is no longer just in Tulare, bro. It's all over the world. It's worldwide. And this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you. You made a statement before, as if to say, you asked your dad, well, when's my time going to come? Or when is it that I get to stand in front of a camera? Or when are they going to recognize me? And that's normal for a young athlete. You see the limelight, you see all the hard work that you put in. How do you feel today, Richard? Now I'm asking you, how does it feel to get what you've asked for?
After it was after winning the medal in the Olympics when I understood that like I'm kind of chasing a dragon. I'm trying to have like a validation of sorts, like from what I do, and I want, and I don't know if like it's really an external thing or more of an intrinsic thing of me trying to feel like, oh, I made it. Um, and every time I get somewhere, like when I got home, I had a parade, I had all this stuff, and that's one of the times where I was like, man, like I did something. And going to the pros, I think it's kind of like I'm chasing that dragon of I do really well in a fight, and I get a lot of pictures afterwards, but I haven't got a main event yet. And I was like, I'm getting a main event, but like now I want a world title shot. I got a world title shot. Now I want to defend and become undisputed. I think that I'm chasing things that might not be. I'm chasing a feeling that might not be obtainable, but along the way, I'm doing some great things that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life. And I think I get to recognize that now as not to go for the feeling or the destination so much, but I'm starting to appreciate the journey of where I'm at. And it's one heck of a journey, being able to go out in any state and getting recognized like at least one time is incredible. It's incredible for all I do is punch people. And being able to do it with while just staying true to myself. I'm thankful for that, and having my family behind me the entire step of the way. Uh, that's what I've been wanting all along. I've said from the get, I wouldn't fight if my dad was in my corner. I'm a firm believer of that too. It's a team decision, and we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together. And I'm so glad I've been able to start the journey with the people I have and continue the same journey. And that's why I've come to the consensus of is it's not too much of the how many people know my name now, but it's more of that journey along the way.
You know what that is, Richard? That's 100% maturity. That's 100%. Okay, I tasted it. I know what it's all about. I respect that it's around me, but these are my goals. And sometimes the goals become bigger than those. I don't want to say small dreams because there's no such thing as a small dream, but you've met those goals. We'll call it a goal that was met of the attention that is there now. I think it's made you a better person. I think you've stepped up to the plate and you accepted it. And it's how you handle that attention. And you know as well as I know, there's a lot of negativity that comes out of certain athletes on the way they conduct themselves, not just inside the ring, outside of the ring, or on their personal life, or maybe they are having a bad day. Nevertheless, it's how they conduct themselves in the public eye. I think your publicist has done a great job with you. Most of all, your PR and your family, who is your main PR, is your corazon and your heart and your root, and that's been embedded since your grandpa and your father, and now yourself.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And end of the day, it's just getting to do what you love. And I feel like it's hard because yeah, sometimes you don't want to take pictures for 2 hours. Sometimes you don't want to like do some of these things, but I feel like you have to take the good with the bad. I would have been so much more upset if no one wanted to take a picture with me. So yeah, I'm gonna stay for 2 hours after the fights to take pictures with the crowd. Like, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna talk to some of the kids when they will just want to hang out and learn about boxing a little bit. It's the least I could do, because if I was in their shoes, I would love if an Olympian were to sit down and talk to me about something. Jose, I still have a glove, signed by some Olympians out here. Like Jose Ramirez actually gave me a signed glove, and I still appreciate that. It's amazing. I had like Mike Tyson call me after the Olympics, and he said good job. Evander Holyfield, they some legends were able to just sit down and say like, hey, congrats. And uh and so I'm trying to think of that when I go into some of these scenes, because I don't think I'm up there with some of those names just yet. But I feel like you gotta wear the suit. You gotta wear the suit you for the job you want, right? And so I'm gonna try to act like them in order to be like them one day.
Well, you're doing a great job right now, and you're going to be well ready. That opportunity is coming April 5th. I know you do
Yes,
your
sir.
talking inside of the ring, but Guido's looking right now, and I want to make sure I say his last name right. Vionello, 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 Vionello. Guido Vionello is looking in the camera right now. Any words you want to say to him or anything that's on your mind, go ahead and drop it right now on the only voice that matters, the fighter's voice.
I think that this fight is a great fight to show who we are as fighters, as boxers. And I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna show what I have to offer. I'm gonna give it everything I got. I do it every fight. I do it every training camp. I do every training session with everything I do. And all I can say is let the best man win. But I'm coming.
Hey, enough said. Hey, that's good enough for me. Those are words from the man himself who's going to be sharing the ring with this Guido guy who's trying to knock you off your goals. Rich, he's trying to upset your victory, Rich. He's trying to push you back, Rich. He's trying to say, you know what,
Mhm.
Tulare doesn't have anybody coming out. He's trying to say your Olympic silver medalist, it was a fluke. Rick, you're not
Mhm.
who you say you are. But come April 5th, Team TORREZ is going to bring every single thing of tenacity inside of that ring. Once that bell rings, nobody is safe. And I already know who's going to be victorious, and that's Team Richard TORREZ Jr.
That's what we're doing. It's a plan. That's a mission, and the determination is gonna come to fruition.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it
Oh,
is.
you got me hyped, man.
Well,
You
Rich,
made me want to work out now, man. That was-
iron sharpens iron, bro.
that was good.
I get hyped when you got the ring walk. And they said Richard Torres next when we come back from this commercial break. And I want to see the ring walk, but I just see you in the ring sometimes. So what that tells me is
Uh-huh.
I got to get to the event. I want to see that ring walk. So I'm
That's
all
what I'm
hyped
saying.
with you, man.
Heck yeah, got the tickets now. I'm telling you, you're gonna be there.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. You know what's humbling is when other people like teachers talk about, they don't know I have a podcast or anything. They'll talk about, oh, that kid from Tulare. Oh, he's fine. Did you see him? And they're going on and on. And I want to just show them a picture. I want to say, but I don't want to spill their, you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to like kill their little bubble. It's like, oh yeah, he's, I don't want to be those guys. Oh, names. Oh, I know him personally. Or, oh yeah. I go, oh yeah, really? No. I mean, how was it? How do you look? I mean, you think he's there? Oh man, he's ready. And, I hear these guys and I want to just tell them, and other people around me say, Richard, just tell him. So maybe it's a chance to share your YouTube channel as well. But I said, no, he was in a good mood. I don't want to just, we'll just surprise him one day. We'll bring him out to high school.
If someone brings up the Fighter's Voice, I'm dropping your name. I'm showing pictures. I'm doing all that. I understand that, and that you're better than me for that one. But man, if someone ever says, do you know Richard Ortiz? I'm saying yes, sir. I'm saying I talked to him. I've talked to him when I was 17, and I'm gonna keep it going, man. So, but I understand where you're coming from with that too.
Hey man, just trust me. I mean, every chance I get, I'm Team TORREZ, and I'm not just saying it. I'm about it, through the thick, through the thin, through the wins, the victories, the losses. Those are all lessons, life lessons. Man, your career is barely starting to blossom and flourish, but it doesn't get anywhere without hard work and being the person that you are. So, being the person you are, a lot of people don't know. You just got off a flight right now. We try to accommodate as best we can, but I wanted you to be comfortable, and for you to take time and still be obligated and still be a man of your word. It says volumes about your character.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I understand the definition of red eyes now. My eyes are still kind of red, but yeah, I appreciate that, and yeah, I mean, what is a man without his word? So I tell you, I want to do that, and I'm the one that asked you for the interview. I got to do it. You know what I mean? I can't just say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm backing out of the interview I asked for. Nah, that would never be me. So I appreciate you for your time and your consideration. I joined this even late because it was hard for me to work my magic. I'm not as technology equipped as you. You know what I mean? I don't understand the buttons too much just yet, but I'll get there soon, and then we'll keep it flowing. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. You're doing a great job, Rich. And, I appreciate your time. And, this is the best part of the show for me. Those of you who have not followed Richard TORREZ Jr., make sure you follow him on Instagram, his Twitter, his Facebook, his fan page. And enough of me saying it. Richard, how do we follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram. That is at the Richard TORREZ. That is THEE, because I say I'm Shakespearean. And I just did start a YouTube page. Well, I've had a YouTube page, but I'm trying to post a little bit more on that. And that is just Richard TORREZ. You can find me there.
And if you want to hear some more interviews with Richard TORREZ, subscribe to our channel at www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. As always, it's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week. Remember, it's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz, the special guests, saying hasta luego, babies. And always, thanks for listening.